All right, well, the U.S. may soon follow Canada's lead. I guess they're trying to protect us all from beer, because that's the most dangerous thing going on in America right now. The Biden administration's health czar, Dr. George Koob, reportedly looking at urging Americans to drink no more than 2 beers a week. 2 beers a week? I know people who drink more than that during the first, I don't know, quarter of their favorite game. I mean,
power hour, baby.
I'm just saying, that might be 30 minutes. Current USDA guidelines say men should limit alcohol intake to 2 drinks or fewer a day, women just 1 drink. Our floor director, Hunter, nodding enthusiastically that Power Hour should not be banned in this country. Stay happy, stay lifted. All right, Niall Stanage is here, White House columnist for The Hill. I mean, seriously, Niall, of all the things that a doctor could be recommending right now, with so many things that America has legalized, I'm sure there are Americans sitting in their chairs deciding to pop open a cold one in revolt.
I'm sure there are. I think there is an element of defiance anytime the government is perceived to be telling you to do something. I mean, this is a country that is founded on personal liberties and all of that. Now, there are 2 sides to every story. On one hand, I get, of course, the killjoy argument for this. I get why people bridle against it. On the other hand, not to bring us all down, there are very serious impacts that alcohol use and abuse has in this country, and there are abundant statistics to prove that. This move is in relation or following research that suggests that there are, in fact, more health problems than we previously thought associated with alcohol.
Okay, I get it. I get it. But beer, of all things? I mean, is there going to be a health recommendation for hard liquor? Is there eventually going to be a health recommendation for the amount of marijuana or edibles that people consume every day? Seriously?
I don't know whether there are, now that we have predominantly legalized marijuana, I don't know if there are health recommendations around how many joints you should smoke or anything else. But look, I mean, I think this is part of a broad, there are health recommendations on all sorts of things, the amount of each vitamin you should consume, the amount of carbohydrates you should consume. So I think it is more in that kind of lineage, despite the fact that it will annoy your floor director and many millions of other Americans, I suppose.
That's Hunter. Shout out to Hunter a couple times this week. You know, he's sitting there and he's responding to me like a live audience, so I have to include him. Hunter, your hair is looking good today, buddy. On the flip side, there's this Gallup poll finding a record number of Americans, 39%, believe moderate levels of drinking is unhealthy. And the government's finding that more and more people during the past few years, they did actually drink more, in fact, slipping into that very dangerous range of overconsumption as a result of all the stress so many people, all of us, have been under. So clearly this is maybe like a baby warning, especially as people might be doing a lot more than 2 beers.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, there has been a rise seemingly related to the pandemic. One of the more worrying trends, Adrienne, is young women binge drinking now at a slightly higher rate than young men, which is obviously problematic in all sorts of ways in terms of health terms. And, the female body is more susceptible to alcohol because women are typically smaller and lighter, and alcohol has a greater effect. So there is that issue. I think there is a general issue where young people in particular seem a little more cautious around alcohol. That Gallup poll that you just mentioned had more than 50% of the under 35s saying that moderate drinking can be harmful. That was an interesting finding, and a finding or a statistic that has shot up in recent years.
Yeah, but I still think a lot of Americans are shaking their head thinking, we used to just have to concern ourselves with alcohol and say, certain drugs. And now it's like the pills that people are experimenting with, the psychedelics that we still don't know a lot about and how they affect the human body and human mind. We're going after beer. Niall Stanage, thank you so much. Great to talk to you about something other than politics, too. That was fun. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.